Maybe we do have lethal because I don't have blockers for our grounders and everybody gets plussed up. Oh. I've not done the math. I'm just throwing out the hello good game. Maths for block. Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. Today we have perfected the Boros party deck, going 6-0 within Mythic. Typically we were running 4 Maul of the Skyclaves before. We've trimmed it back to 1 and we've added more Luminous Broodmoths. And let me tell you what, this card carries the deck so hard. And it's not typically a deck that needs to be carried anyways, which is even better. So of course, if you're not interested into the deep dive of the deck, strategies, synergies, why the cards were chosen to be included in the deck, my general thoughts towards the whole thing, you can skip right to the gameplay, use the chapter section below. Of course, today's video is brought to you by Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant, the best tracker you can get for the game. You can download this if you're on Windows for free within the Overwolf link, again, right below in the description. Click that, install it, and then you can check out your draw rates, you've got draft helpers, metagame analysis, deck statistics, and so much more. With that out of the way, thank you guys all for watching. If you do find any value within the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content, and share the channel to a friend, right? Go, go, go is the theme of this deck, and let me tell you what, it does just that. An average converted mana cost of 2.3, making it a very aggressive aggro deck, running only 19 lands, abusing the best of 1 hand smoothing algorithm. Starting the deck out, we have 4 copies of Archpriest of Iona. This is a 1-drop, which I cannot believe. Its power is equal to the number of creatures in your party. You can have up to 4 creatures in your party. Its toughness is 2, so if you have a full party, it will be a 4/2. If you play it as a vanilla 1-drop, it will be a 1/2. So good value regardless of any time you play it. And it gets better than that. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. That means potentially this card is a 5/3 for 1. I've never seen it before in my life. 4 copies of Fireblade Charger. This is another 1-drop, a 1/1 warrior, and as long as the Charger is equipped, it will have haste. Like I said, we've trimmed Maul of the Skyclaves down to just 1 copy, so equipping the Fireblade Charger is unlikely, but a possibility. And when the Fireblade Charger dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. This is still very powerful, and we keep it in the deck just for that. Moving on, we've got 4 copies of Drannith Magistrate, our first 2-drop, a 1/3 wizard, and your opponent can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. This will kindly shut down Adventure. It will shut down, Exile, and then cast those spells from Exile, which we see in, a few different decks as well. So good stuff within the Magistrate, just kind of stopping your opponent from casting stuff, from places you don't want them to. The graveyard as well, right? So the Luminarch Aspirant is a cleric 1/1, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. We talked about the Fireblade Charger dealing damage when it dies equal to its power to any target. We can increase, obviously, the power and toughness of the Charger with the Luminarch Aspirant. That's ideal if you're looking to go full aggro. That's what I recommend. However, keep in mind if your opponent has Exile, the death effect will not trigger. Moving on, we've got 4 copies of Seasoned Hallowblade. This is a 3/1 warrior in which we can discard a card to tap it, gaining indestructible, which is quite nice. This makes it very strong against most forms of removal. Again, folding to Exile though. However, Exile is not super relevant within the meta. It is now, but it's, again, not every removal card is Exile. Most are Destroy, lots are damage based, right? So you can get away from a lot of them. Again, you have general disruption like bounce target creature to your opponent's hand. That could get you there as well. But for the general rule of thumb, Seasoned Hallowblade is absolutely amazing because you can keep a creature in play, have consistent damage output while avoiding summoning sickness. And if you tap your creature, have it remain in play, your opponent's removal goes to the graveyard. Instead of your creature going to the graveyard, you just put something from your hand into the graveyard instead. So it's the exact same thing. Discarding a card to give it indestructible is really no harm, no foul as far as I'm concerned, unless they're casting 2 on the stack, and then it gets into a weird interaction. But again, they're spending 2 cards to do that, so you should be able to spend 2 cards to deal with it, as long as you keep your blade in play. With that being said, the Luminarch Aspirant's +1/+1 token is best put on a creature other than herself. This makes your opponent less likely to remove her and more likely to remove the creature with the +1/+1 counters on it, because it's getting bigger, it's dealing more damage. So spread your value as much as you can instead of concentrating it. But if you do have to concentrate it, the Fireblade Charger and the Hallowblade are the creatures you'd like to concentrate them on. Moving forward, we have a little bit of removal within the Scorching Dragonfire at instant speed for 2, dealing 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. In a Lurrus Rogue meta, this is absolutely amazing. It can even quite easily take out things like the Kazandu Mammoth, which I find to be very aggressive. The Edgewell Innkeeper, I guess, as well. So any blocker that's stopping your attacks, you can freely take it to have an increased damage output for the turn. You can also take cards that will negatively impact your playstyle, like Lurrus of the Dream Den, for example. Moving on, 4 copies of the Stonework Packbeast, a 2/1. The beast is also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard, filling the gap of whichever creature in your party you do not have yet. We can pay 2 to add 1 mana of any color. We'll only ever consider this if we are flooding with red mana to get our Luminous Broodmoth out, as it's our only 2 mana cost required card. Obviously 2 colorless mana and then the 2 white mana. So if we had 0 white mana, we could pay 2 here. Or sorry, no, if we had 1 white mana, we could pay 2 reds to create our second white. But again, that's very unlikely because of how aggro our deck is and just how balanced it is in general. It's not going to be hard to pull 2 planes. Moving on, 4 copies of Relic Robber. This is a 2/2 with haste, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player creates a 0/1 Goblin Construct artifact that deals 1 damage to them at the beginning of their upkeep. It also cannot block, which is quite nice. So this is our main damage output in the deck, if you can believe it, and I am so happy to have the Relic Robber converting as aggressively as it is within Mythic. A single copy of Maul of the Skyclaves. Now, I mentioned that we trimmed this back. We used to run 4 copies, but I'm finding much higher success with a creature heavy variant. So the Maul of the Skyclaves enters the battlefield, is auto-equipped to a creature. The equipped creature gets +2/+2, has flying and first strike, which is great. So it's a way to give the Relic Robber flying, a form of evasion, making sure that it can get that damage in. So it'll deal 4 damage, plus they'll get a token. So 5 damage total isn't bad. We can also put it on the Charger to give it haste if we want. The increased toughness, or sorry, power of the Charger will be of benefit if it dies as well. We could also go to the Seasoned Hallowblade for the same reasons I mentioned before. Again, you can tap it to gain indestructible, avoiding lots of removal, and ensuring that your Skyclave can remain in play for multiple turns. That's just the tip of the iceberg, though. It gets even better with 4 copies of Squad Commander, a 3/3 warrior, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to create a 1/1 core warrior creature token for each creature in your party. Again, we can have up to 4 creatures in our party. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you can control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. Absolutely amazing, buffing your whole field up, allowing you to attack basically kamikaze style. Because you have indestructible, you won't be dying. I guess that's not kamikaze style. But again, allowing you to go in very aggressively and still having the chump blockers within the 1/1s that you just created. And it gets even better because this is an ETB, or enter the battlefield effect, which will re-trigger upon its death if you have Luminous Broodmoth or Mothra Supersonic Queen in play. This is a 3/4 with flying. It's an insect, so not filling a role within our party mechanic, but it doesn't need to. It carries its weight all on its own. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. This will allow our Squad Commander to re-trigger, giving us even more 1/1 tokens. It will also allow our Relic Robber to have, organic evasion, allowing to attack our opponents with relative ease. We can also get the Charger back as well, right? So, more chip damage to our opponent is even good, and you know, the Luminarch Aspirant, because the +1/+1 tokens are a must-have, and we can't afford to lose those. So, you know, it's not only bringing those creature backs, it brings any creature back that dies with flying, which means, you know, if there were blockers, now you're up above them, and you can probably attack for lethal, because, you know, you're doing a lot of chip damage early on, you're gaining flying relatively easy, and you're going very, very wide. So this is one of the most powerful decks I've made in a while, going 6-0, terrorizing Mythic, and you know, I'm really looking forward to continuing to fine-tune this deck. I think we've almost perfected it. We have to be close here. It's so good. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck breakdown. We're going to get into the gameplay footage now, and we'll come full circle with our wrap-up thoughts to close off. So thanks again. If you found any value, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content, and share to a friend. We'll see you soon. Going first, our hand's a little heavy with only 2 land, but I believe we'll play the plains first. We do need 2 plains, but I also want the Relic Robber in play. Nice. Okay, so this can definitely be a red source here. Hallowblade out. Probably gets exiled, which is really sad. We'll try to go wide and just push Mothra out. Yeah. Cry. This is really nice, though. They're tapped. We smash in. Next turn, they play blocker, right? Because they want to interrupt that. And then we can throw our Skyclave on at that point. Get in the air and get a second construct on. And they're tempted now. Oh, nice. Never mind. So much exile. That's gross. They do it again, though. Let's try to teach them their lesson. Do they have more exile? They're going to need a little bit more life gain to offset this. Really? Construct can't block. I'm thinking there's Omen of the Sun. Or the Angelic, make a 4/4 Angel from exile or something. We hit for 4, and now we deal an additional 3. It's a lot of damage. I like it. I'd actually like to imagine that the Relic Robber is tossing the skull of Godzilla. What? Right? They attack again. Oh, and then Giant smashes everything. That's really good for them. Nice. We need that 4th land, like, a while ago. Daxos in play. Sure. Priest in play. That's really good. There's the land. Moth in play. Should be able to do enough damage. They need to be top decking exile. That can go on the Drannith Magistrate only, though. Moth has a CMC of 4, so the casket cannot hit it. So that's really nice. It's a good thing we didn't Skyclave onto the Drannith Magistrate. That would have been bad. Bad. Let's maybe keep one Moth in hand in case they do run a wipe again. There's the Giant. That's fine. We can chump block that all day, unless it gets flying. It's a big hit. Down to 1. They're going to gain some life here, of course. They have to deal with our threats. I'm not sure that they can deal 16 damage. Okay, Giant Killer's good. We actually gave the commander flying, so it didn't re-enter, which is a bummer. Maybe we should have put it on the 1/1 token instead. We know this for later. That puts them to dead. We're down to 9. It's a token, so it doesn't come back. And I believe we can just smash there for lethal, yeah. GG's. Our opponent goes first. 1 land's not going to cut it there. 2 Luminarchs. An Archpriest. I think that's good. Let's keep the Relic Robber as a dream and toss the Packbeast. Lurrus cycling. Yeah, it's Lurrus. Well, it could be Lurrus life. Yeah, Lurrus cycling. Which is good for us, right? Hopefully our Luminarch Aspirants can outpace their Fox. Which hopefully doesn't get played here. The Rescuer. That's just as bad. No attacks. They could go for blood, but they should still be taking the Aspirant instead. They cycle the go for blood away. That's good news always. Oh, we don't have the red source. What am I thinking? Wow, that sucks. We'll get there. There we go. Just taking out the tokens every turn. And then we'll Dragonfire that when we get a chance. Lurrus in hand. That's fine for us. Nice. A good amount of damage. Which they can gain back, but... Hallowblade in play. We could have played the Hallowblade first and put the 2 tokens on it. That could have been alright. We need to find flying as soon as possible to get above these 1/1 tokens. That's going to be our priority. And now we need to Scorching Dragonfire Lurrus as a priority. Easy. Hallowblade, Archpriest go in. 10 damage if unblocked. Stopping the token. And we will toss the Packbeast. Alright, Lures is gone. They've got no creatures. Graveyard does have 5. They could kill the Archpriest, I guess, with a flare, but, you know, then they have to find another one for later to kill us with. Cycling the healer. A-okay. Cycling another rescuer as well. Wow. They should have played that and made tokens. In my opinion. They're the Mythic player cycling, though. I don't play cycling in Mythic. I'm not that aggressive. Just to find the fox, that maybe that's what they think their answer is. Relic Robber in play! Of course they're gonna block the Relic Robber. So we want to put it on something else. So they're like, well, I'll let the Relic Robber actually hit, and I'll stop the 6 damage instead. So good! Bingo bango bongo. And they're down to 2 at the start of their turn. They're playing free-to-play deck. Our deck's definitely not free-to-play. Right? We are accomplishing all of this on 3 lands, though, which I find to be fairly impressive. Average converted mana cost is very, very low here. And we do see the flare on a creature. It's like, well, if they can't kill us, they have to survive and try to mitigate our damage output. They need a blocker for the Hallowblade. Good game, sir! Loving it. So fast. Alright, 2 lands. We have a 1 drop, but... I mean, worst case, we draw land into the Moth. Best case, we just pull more creatures. I don't think this is actually that bad. There's a 1 drop. It would be better if we had a confirmed 2 drop as well. We are on the draw, though, so... that chance does go up that we find something out of the gate. And it is more land, so let's go Moth Town, right? I like to get the Relic Robber out and then get it back with flying. Woo! That was the original tech of the deck. And then it ended up just being so aggro that sometimes we don't even get there. It's cramping though, so not good news. Smells like a great henge. I don't want to lose our party yet, right? We do have the squad commander, which enters again with the Moth, so that's wicked cool. This might be a GG here. Very, very good. No attacks. We're dropping Moths next. Then we can kind of kamikaze in with the Robber. But when there's 1 wolf, you know, there's more. Primal Mites, like, so many things. We do take a big hit. Down to 16. Up to 6. For a Mammoth. And then the Love Struck Beast. Very nice. Yeah, they're gonna pummel us here. So we can actually chump block with the Robber. And then it comes back with flying for the attack. So we're stopping 5, still taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down to 6. So bad. Okay. Still down to 11's unpleasant. This one's against any other deck would be doing a lot better, but with a great henge on top, that's game. We get to give them their first token. And this is the game plan. We're like executing it, but mono green with removal and a henge. GG, right? GG. We're down to 11, so it's just basically a good game. The same situation with the robber, though, as far as learning how the deck operates. When you're in a situation like this, you chump block, and then you can attack freely. More left struck beasts. Of course. Yummy! The life gain of the henge just offsets us as well. Oh! Alright. We stopped all the damage, which is good. So we make some more chump blockers here, which is quite nice. And then we get to hit for a little bit. You know, they've got 3 tokens now, so they are taking some damage. 1 a turn. Right, not enough. The Great Henge is so good. Ugh! What a card. What a card. It's amazing. Oh, nice. Troll King. 7-6 trample, no big deal. 8-6, 8-7, sorry, because the Great Henge there, so. Feeling good about that. Right? The Mammoth is such an amazing card as well, because you can use a Fable Passage to get the Great Henge out for free. Wow. Wow. Alright, tokens are gonna come in and die, maybe. Wolf can gain indestructible and kill us. So take note on that. Right, let's kill the Mammoth. They might sack it with the oven. No. Let's fill our ranks. Tokens, of course, don't come back, but the commander re-enters and re-triggers for more chump blockers. The Troll King worries us. And ideally, we'd have enough damage here to kill them, but we do not. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're so close. We're so close. 16, actually. We take them down to 2. Oh, we have a full party. Maybe we do have lethal, because they don't have blockers for our grounders, and everybody gets plussed up. Oh. I've not done the math. I'm just throwing out the hello, good game. Maths for blockers, right? I forgot we had a full party with the drop of the Hallowblade. Or, sorry, the Luminarch Aspirant. Woo! Oh my lord! That is something special. Going first with 3 land in our hands. Admittedly, our hand is very heavy here, but these are good cards, right? They're not bad cards. In worst case, we just remove on our second turn, so not worried that much. But again, it's the times where you're most confident where it can kind of come back to bite you, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Ooh! Squad commander for MVP alongside Mothra, like, together, they're just like, they're cooking something, that's for sure. Ooh. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's pretend we have a shock. That way they don't want to play their speaker. Oh, it's the fox. Let's just take that. The fox can get way out of control, so against the cycling decks, that's what you need to take. But why aren't they using Luris as a companion? I'm interested. Let's see if we see any, you know, high drop CMC cards. Right? CMC permanents, I should say. They can have instances or sorceries, but maybe they are 100% free to play, no Luris. No attacks. I want to kill it, but, you know, we're just going to get the Moth in play, and then it's consistent damage once it has flying. They can attack because they have a chump blocker as well. They could also have Go for Blood, which is frightening. No blocks. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, no, no. We're good. Moth in play. If we can Luminarch just straight onto Mothra, I think we'll be all set. Right? Just keep it ahead of their cycling total. And if anybody is a free-to-play individual watching, check out my free-to-play tier list. We go through all the free-to-play decks. I've got a free-to-play playlist with all of them in there. And, you know, cycling's one of them, and it's easy to hit Mythic with cycling. So if you're looking to do your best climb rank, they cycle Go for Blood. That's awesome. We don't really want to attack, do we? We want to defend. But if they don't, if they're just going to cycle, so we do still have to try to mitigate one a turn. Let's slam out our clerics and go from there. Gaining life. They have to blast Mothra. I'm not sure what they would have for one. Again, they don't have Luris as a companion, so I'm very interested to see if we see anything that we regularly wouldn't. So far, it's, you know, the show as we know, I guess you could say. So we gotta do Wizard. Right? right? Just increasing our party. Big hits here. They could just chump block the robber. Down to 19. We have a full party. Drain a stinger. This is okay. Token, life, damage. So that's going to be our downfall, if anything. It's just the fact that I have so much value on board. I'm happy we dealt with the fox. Could you imagine if they had a fox as well? Woo! The moth saves us from a go for blood. At a certain point, they're going to need to address us. We have indestructible, so we can just go all out. They don't want to lose their engines, right? You'll see they keep the rescuer, they keep the healer, they keep the stinger. This way, when they cycle cards, they're getting lots of value. That's a lot of land for a cycling deck. But if they can get a vein of non-lands, they can just go on a little tear. Well, let's just smash. Moth goes up, of course. That's the one that can't block, and I believe this is lethal. Give him the love. Mothra, an 8/8. Absolutely incredible. That is a buff birdie, baby. Tweet, tweet. Right? It's massive. That is a big hit. That's for sure. They take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We could have, you know, maybe smashed. But here, we're killing all their creatures. And we still get lethal. By a long shot as well. My math is terrible. Oh, gosh. Easy. We are tearing it up. 100% win rate. 6 games in total, which is really cool. Go, go, go hard. Wow. Relic Robber competing. I'm a fan of it. I've also been falling in love with the Broodmoth. This card, it works. The Extinction Event sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the comments will be flooded with, you know, this deck sucks. Extinction Event just beats it. Doesn't it beat every creature deck? Right? You can do your best to get around it, right? We do have even and odds, right? Obviously more evens than odds. But, you know, the Relic Robber tokens are even as well, which is awkward. So, you know, Extinction Event is just such a great card, and it's going to be hard to deal with regardless. Good news is, it looks like we might have some exile protection coming to us in Kaldheim. I'm excited for that. We've seen that Kaya has some form of protection from exile, and if it's there once, it might be there even more. So I'm looking forward to seeing even more spoilers. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you're notified of our latest videos. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on anything. And again, thank you all for your time and attention. If you want even more content, which I'm not sure how you'd even be able to consume, you can become a YouTube member to get some exclusive videos, right? So everything from box openings, historic brawl, general shenanigans like studio tours, and you know, whatever is not typically a standard deck will be available to our YouTube members. So again, thanks for your time and attention. Check everything out on the channel. Watch the free-to-play playlist if you're a new player to familiarize yourself with all of your options so you're not wasting your wildcards. Save your gold for a new set, and we'll see you in Limited. Take care, and we'll yeah, catch you soon.